Hello, I'm Gordon Wetmore. The following presentation outlines my portrait painting process, which has evolved over the last 3 decades. I describe the process from the first sitting until the finished portrait is hanging on the wall. I hope you enjoy it. One of the great things about this profession is you really do meet interesting people, and I can meet a variety of people. I think the best thing that helped my career was when I got a commission from the Tennessee Republican Party to paint a portrait of President Nixon. Norman Vincent Peale, or Princess Grace, and Prince Renier, and Prince Albert, and several, Jack Nicklaus, and Fred Couples, another golfer, all very nice people. One of the things you learn the most, and I've had other fellow artists tell me, is how much they're just like everybody else you paint. I've done a few celebrities, but the great majority are just very attractive and winsome people. The process is pretty straightforward, and I've been doing it for 34 years. And there are times when I meet someone and I am asked to do their portrait, but the great majority are through representatives who are out there and presenting my work to people. They will tell me that I have an assignment. They're all over the country. I travel quite a bit because I go to the client's house, and I make the sitting for as soon as I can. It's according to how busy I am, but more than that even, it's according to when I'll be back in that part of the country. My schedule is such that it's about 6 to 9 months from that first sitting till the final sitting and delivery. But when I hear that I have a commission, we arrange the sitting as soon as we can. And when I go, I plan on about a 3-hour session in which I do 1 or 2 watercolor sketches according to how complicated the painting is going to be. And also I take quite a few photographs for reference. And the whole process takes about 3 hours, and there's a great value in just getting to know the subject and talking to them. A lot of times I'll have dinner the night before with the family and or the person that I'm going to paint, and it's terrifically helpful to me. And so we do that, and I get a sense of the person, and for that reason, as soon as I get home, I get right to work on making sketches. Then, when I get toward the end of the time, when I'm feeling comfortable about the painting and liking what I'm getting, I will alert my agent. I plan on a certain date eventually, and we meet for about a similar amount of time. I actually have a full-fledged sitting for that final sitting. It's not just an unveiling and here you are. I always get out all my paints and like to have the subject there. Sometimes somebody fails to make it clear and they say, oh, was the person supposed to be here? And the subject? And I say, well, yes, that'd be nice. So the climax and the showtime of the whole thing is obviously the unveiling. And no matter how confident I feel, I really don't know sometimes how they respond. But people have to do this and have confidence in you based on what they've seen you do for other people, but they don't see until it's all completed what you will be doing for them. And I appreciate that confidence, but I also feel a terrific responsibility. And that's why I just will not settle for a painting with a little something wrong with the mouth or some little something that would be like sand in their eye. I'm very anxious for them to be completely pleased, because I realize that it can be the most treasured possession they have. I and most artists I know would do a portrait over from the very beginning if for some reason it hadn't met their expectations. There are some times when they just are completely thrilled the minute they look at it. It's everything they'd ever hoped for, and that's just, every portrait painter will tell you that that's a wonderful thing when they see it. And very often you find that they're thrilled. They totally like the whole concept. They like so many things about it, but what will happen if there is one little thing that will just capture their attention? They don't realize that it can be easily fixed right then. And then, when you fix it, then they're thrilled. I've had the privilege of being the chairman of the Portrait Society of America. We've had some of the top artists in the country and some great people speaking to our meetings. Thomas Wolfe, the famous author, who's also an artist. Morley Safer, who enjoys painting and is an artist. And we're having Bob Schieffer at our next meeting. We've had the presidents of the directors of the National Portrait Gallery in Washington speak to us. You know, being an artist is an isolated profession. You work in a corner with a north light, hopefully, and stay there in silence all day. You might play the radio, but you need to concentrate completely, and you can't have distractions. So it's not a very social occupation. That part of it isn't. So it's a great counterpoint to that I leave the studio a couple of times a month and go to be with people. And there I'm in their homes and get to know them, and it's quite a friendship business. You really do make some friends in this business, and it's a mystery to me. People ask me, how do you get a likeness? And my answer to that is, I don't know. It's just a mystery to me. But I certainly can tell if I have one. In closing, I would like to tell you about another aspect of my career. Although portrait painting is my primary interest, I also enjoy painting landscapes and figurative works in plein air and in my studio. These books contain many paintings and drawings that I have done over the years. With my family, I traveled to Israel, where I painted the people and the landscape. Later, we lived in Ireland, resulting in this book, The Faces and Scenery of That Beautiful Country, for which Princess Grace wrote the foreword. In 2004, I returned to Ireland with Ambassador Walter J.P. Curley, who interviewed 20 direct descendants of the Irish chieftains, and I sketched their portraits. One of my favorite publications is this children's book, which presents some of the Irish scenes and characters, as well as commissioned portraits of children. Even though some of these books are out of print, all of them are available in bookstores or on Amazon.com. Thank you for viewing this presentation of my work and working methods. I hope it has been informative.